So I'm here with my wife that doesn't want to be in frame, which I will be okay with because it is my first video that I'll be posting. However, the topic that has been placed on my heart and in my head for the past couple of days has been how long have we been married? 3 years?
September, yeah.
3 years in September. It's not easy. People look at us and think that we have it made, that we're lucky. Some have said to be not envious, but wanting what we have. What do you have to say to that?
Makes no sense. Like, I'm not very public about how I feel, how I go about things, what I've gone through. Nor do I need to be, not yet at least. But for those who do say that they think we're this and that and have know our journey, I think that is the most profound thing ever, because if they truly knew what happened in the beginning, basically into the middle, then there's no reason at all to be any sort of envious. But if you don't know the exact gory details and you're still saying such notions, then I guess I'd just say that just wait and see. It's like it was a facade at first, that's for sure.
What was the facade?
The happiness displayed that we've displayed, like if you look at it, some of our pictures, like at birthday parties or stuff where we're smiling, you're like, oh man, that's a really nice picture. But like in reality, that day I was mad, or you were mad, and something was involved with social media, women, etc., a bad crowd, whatever the case. Like you say, you keep pictures because they bring memories or whatever. When I look at some of those pictures and they're all smiley and stuff, I don't remember the good times. I just remember how much I was crying, how much I was begging God, take me away. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. That's just a preview. I want to write a book about this, so
She will write at least a 2-part book. She's spoke about it. She's written notes and story frames. The reason, I want to say the reason, but part of the reason why I like this woman so much when I got to know her in the beginning was, well, she was a bookworm and just the intellectual wisdom. I was raised with a man that was in his 80s most of my life. Well, towards the end. He passed away at 87. And I just found similarities in her. They didn't have the same sign or anything like that. And I no longer believe in that stuff. But it was the wisdom. She put up with a lot of my childish immaturity. And I can't even say she waited for me to mature. It's literally only God that she stayed. That's the reason. Because I hurt her in the beginning. Up until, well, even after our first child. I was not the best man. I won't say she knew what she got herself into when she got with me, but she knew I wasn't perfect and I came with flaws. Like, some things I didn't tell her the truth about. I wasn't fully honest in the beginning. And that's a mistake on my part. However, I'm glad she said yes to marrying me after later, learning all of me. Ask me a question.
About what?
Name it. Let me go as far as to show you how perfect it isn't. Before this video, for the past, since yesterday afternoon, there has been a silence between the two of us. It has taken me seeking God, calming my spirit, and just seeking wisdom to come to her, ask for forgiveness, and try to talk things through. Now we're jumping straight into this, our first podcast. Horrible timing. Didn't let her get ready or nothing. She said literally, no, I don't even want to do it. I'm like, hey, please do it for me. Because it's something that she knows that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So, you got a question?
Well, how about this? How about you just give them a short rendition of what the beginning was like? What kind of person you were back then?
Okay. Just so you know that you're getting full, open, honest transparency here. So in the beginning, I no longer call myself a womanizer. In the beginning, I was. Is that 2018?
Yeah.
January, February? I met her at a Forest River company in the trailer industry. She had walked in as a QC inspecting my work, yet I didn't know that, seeing her across the room, that she'd be working so close to me. God knew what he was doing. He literally sent her to me. Like, I asked for this woman before I saw her. And after I got to know her, I knew it was her. Daddy! What, baby? She squished me. She squished you? Yeah. Okay, give her a hug and tell her not to do that again. That's not how I always deal with things. You didn't give her a hug, baby. You give her a hug, Ava? Why you squish her? So I was just moving back to my home area, and I was trying not to be with a woman. I was trying not to be in a relationship or anything like that. I was sleeping around. I didn't see myself getting in a relationship anytime soon. I was like 8 months single. Not 8 months celibate. No. But when I got to know this woman, and I didn't even get to know her. Like, I just listening to her talk, I knew she was smart, brilliant, actually, very wise for her age. Oh, and she lied about her age. She lied about. She was 20. She was 20, and I thought she was 21. She told me she was 21.
I didn't want people to make fun of me.
I was. I took her to a fight. That was the first thing I did. I said, "Hey, you want to go to the fights with me?" Grand Rapids.
But you didn't make it seem like it was a date. I was confused.
Yeah,
even the day up, I wasn't.
Like
I didn't even get ready at first. The day up, because I was like, this guy didn't even hit me up. Be like, get ready at this time. I was like, all right, I guess we're not going.
I told her the day before, like, hey, we're gonna go to the fights at work.
That's a lie, dude. It's a lie.
I lied to her. We slept around before we were together. Was it the night of the fights?
Yes, sir. I was like, I usually don't do this on the first date.
Cliche.
I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
Or did she?
So funny.
I didn't tell her that I had herpes. So that was not a lie. I never looked at it as a lie. It was just very not mischievous. It was dishonest, honestly. It was just very
It was withholding
conniving.
the truth.
It was what?
Withholding the truth.
Withholding the truth. It's the wrong thing to do.
It's
and
not, yeah,
and
it's
I
not
know
a
that
lie,
now.
but-
Like before her, I've tried to tell people before. It didn't always come out good for me. Sometimes it did, a lot of times it didn't. Most of the times I didn't say anything. She is since my wife. It has been up and down since then. I cheated on her before we had a child and while she was pregnant. When I slept with B, were we together?
The first time, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't
The
know
timeline
either.
is always foggy as to I feel like we were or we were just because I remember you did sleep the night there to spend time with your daddy, but I don't know if it was at that time, because if it was at that time, we might have been together because I told you that was a bad idea. I was like, that is not a good idea. I don't think you should be doing that. But I knew you weren't going to listen to me because, you're a kid, blah, blah, blah. So if it was around that time, then yes, we were together. But if not, because I know we did break up right before the first birthday party thing, because at the birthday party, I was not introduced as a girlfriend. So right before then. But I don't know. The timeline's always foggy. That's what I'm saying, I guess.
I was partying in the beginning when I met her, doing coke, smoking weed, which I haven't done today or yesterday, but I mean, still kind of do it here and there. Drinking on a lot more than I do now. She brought me back to God. That's what I'm trying to get to. I don't even know if I was ready. She got me ready, but to what detriment? She got her heart broke time and time again. People don't always know that stuff. Some few people do. But it wasn't easy. It was actually really hard. And especially when I did something knowing that I love her, it hurt me. Like, I cut the situation off fast. And I'm like, yo, we shouldn't be doing this. This is not what I want to do. I was in the process of getting head. And I was like, no, you should go over there. And I told her about it later. She was pregnant at the time. And I told her after she had the baby, which was not. I told her after she had postpartum, and I thought that she might be getting like over it. Like I felt like it was always a bad time to tell her. Literally, I didn't want her to harm herself. So I thought that it would be best to tell her when I could tell her. And honestly, even to this day, somebody told me that it was the most selfish thing for me to do to get it off my chest telling her. I don't agree with that because I've always been an honest person. Normally, if I mess with women in the past when I was in relationships, I'd tell them immediately that day or that week, like, yo, I did this. I did it because I wanted to. I no longer think like that. I love her. I am based in the Bible. I know that a man is to, draw near to his woman, his wife. They're to be one. Like, I haven't found in the Bible where it says you can have multiple wives, which I see people out here doing and telling everybody about, like it's the righteous thing to do. I I haven't came to that conclusion. If you find that in the Bible, let me know, because that ain't what I'm seeing. Um, Everybody wants to say how it says, wives submit to your husband, but in that same chapter, right? I think it's the next verse. It tells the husbands what to do for your wives, and I've been trying my best to be a righteous man and an upstanding father and a good husband. I've came a long way. A lot of people that know me know that. I was so spontaneous. I wouldn't keep a job more than a year. Uh, wouldn't be faithful for more than a year. Like, I told her I'm gonna give her we didn't get the wedding that we wanted. I literally told her, like, it got to the point. She brought me, like I said, she brought me back to church. She brought me to God. When I stepped inside of her church, which I pulled her away from, I didn't mention that. My lifestyle pulled her away from it. Everybody around here, where we now are, was like, yo, what's up? What's happening? Like, why are you not around here? And then they met me. And then they were like, I don't know if I like this guy.
They're like, yeah, we definitely don't like this guy. They didn't think. They knew. They're
Called
yeah.
me cringy. What does this even mean? What does it even mean?
That was hilarious.
Cringy. Can I just eat, bro? Like, come
That
on.
was hilarious.
When I stepped into the church, I can't even say it was a piece of God. It was a overwhelming sense of love and care, genuineness. Genuineness is the word for house of God. And I'm not advertising our church, but being at that place for the past 4 years, almost not 5, I've learned so much. I recently have not been going as much, probably in the past 3 to 4 months. But, back in March, I was able to say that I've been going there for 4 years, twice a week. And Wednesdays is when I learned. I loved it because her pastor let me ask all the questions I wanted to. All the questions that I knew everybody wanted to know, I asked. Didn't always like the response I got, because I was just so right in my head. Like, I was like, oh, well, why can't I masturbate? Oh, well, why can't I do this? Oh, well, what do you think about that? Well, why are they wrong? Like, he has how many years? Probably 35 years plus of teaching the word of God. Something like 30 years at least. Man is a wisdom. I'd say he's a Bible and a human person. Like, I don't know. I've never seen him be selfish. So shout out to Pedro Tamayo, my pastor. Yeah, it's a bilingual church. I was the only English person there for a long time. Over a year, maybe 2. So they started translating for me. Uh, what else should I touch on?
Well, I think I'll touch on it, but on my perspective.
Okay.
So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. But no, back then I was I was really, like you said, I was really getting into, I was always in and out of church, always confused because of the home life that I had. And then, growing up into being an adult and the responsibilities that come with it. So I was very confused in that church, but at some point I was done running from what I knew was the truth. And the truth was that God wanted me near him. Because it says in the word, greater is he who lives in me than he who lives in the world. So I started hanging out with Pastor every day, almost every day, whenever he had the time. Just trying to know God, trying to know myself, and in myself in God too. So yeah, because I had a lot of healing to do when it came to the issues of my father and the impact he had in my life while he was in it, and then not in it at the same time. And then growing up with a single mom who had the stresses of not being a citizen and having to worry about such things. But I remember one day I was cooking breakfast, and I don't know, I was just tired of being alone because I didn't really hang out with anybody. I had a group of friends, but we eventually just had our own lives at one point. So I'm just cooking breakfast, and I'm like, you know what, God? And it's crazy because I was so naive. Another thing is I was very naive about love, without having that example of my father, of like a good, established, stable, emotionally stable at that man in my life. I was then just craving the parts that I did have of him, which is someone who cared for me, someone who loved me, someone who never wanted to hurt me. And so, yeah, I was very naive, and so I asked God with full confidence, right, that it would happen, that something would happen, that I was tired of being alone, and that I wanted to be with somebody. And from then forth, then next thing I know, I'm getting a job at an RV place as quality control. And it's funny because as I was having my interview, they were telling me that the positions of QCs, like one in the weld, one in the middle, and then the blah blah blah, and then the last one was final route, and they worked with a lot of fiberglass. And in my head, I was thinking, man, I really really hope it's not that, because I don't want to work with fiberglass. So next thing you know, I'm being told that I'm gonna be working in final route with the fiberglass. And I was like, oh no. I was like, that's the
Dirtiest
one
job
I
ever
didn't want.
Ever.
And that's the one I got. So next thing I know, I'm hired, blah blah blah, trained. And I'm in charge of these 3 lines, and growing up as an Hispanic in Ligonier is no surprise. As a white person, nah. And we did have some, black families, but not really. So then I'm working in Middlebury, Indiana. I look to my left, and there's this black dude. I'm like, what the heck, dude? I'm like, whoa, that's cool. So anyways, I'm just staring at that guy. And at first, yeah, I'll admit it was it was physical. But then, I don't know, I just got an inkling. Like, I wasn't very strong in the spirit, right? So I couldn't completely discern what God was probably trying to tell me in that moment. But what I did know was that I was getting, what was coming to me was secret. Like, there was something hidden with this guy. And I was like, it could be
Slide over here.
it could be jail, the fact that he went to jail. It could be the amount of kids he had, because you know he was very loud about how many kids he had and all this other nonsense. So I was like, it can't be that stuff, right? Because he's basically saying all that stuff, but I was still getting, you know, something that was hidden with him. So
Sit down.
then, no, I think this is good.
No, not yet.
I think it's good.
I think I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit.
I think it's okay.
So then the kids, and then
What was I saying? Oh. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so anyways, discerning the hidden thing, blah blah blah. But like I couldn't stop staring at him. And like I had just come from Mexico a year earlier, and I had lived with my dad. My dad, like, that guy is no joke. Like, he gave me a sort of self-confidence I didn't have throughout my whole life. So that was cool.
sit right here.
I
You're
moved
almost-
away as he did that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Anyway,
Come closer.
I don't want to.
Dude, you
Jeez.
don't look bad.
This is peer pressure, yo. Don't
It
fall
is.
into it. Like, shout out to the ones who, you know, don't deal with this stuff. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. So much pain. Ah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm getting those. Oh, wait. Thing to know. Before I got the job and met this dude, for some reason, as I was saying, after I asked God to bring someone to me, blah, 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 for some reason, I got the thought in my head, what if I'm in my room literally one day just thinking to myself, what if I ended up with someone who had a sort of STD of sorts? For example, herpes. literally, it came to my head in that way. And I was like, dang, dude, could this be like a sign, like a warning or something? Because the thought literally just came to my head. Like, what if that happened? What would I do? Would I accept it? Would I not? Would I freak out? What are people gonna think? You know, all the questions that come with those kind of things. So next thing you know, right? Wait a minute.
Where did you leave off?
I don't even know. So, anyways,
I had to use the restroom.
oh, so yeah, the herpes thought. I'm talking about that. How it came to my head before I met you.
Oh, her
Like-
discernment. Her discernment, yo. I'm gonna tell you, you ever meet this woman, she's probably gonna know your soul before you tell her. Just saying.
But yeah, so that came to thought too. So I was like, dang, what am I gonna do if, like, you know, I do end up with someone who does have a sort of, you know, STD or sorts. So I was like, all right, I guess eventually I came to the thought that I was like, if that person's meant for me, you know, and things and that and this and that, you know, I was like, I guess I'll come to terms with it, you know. So I was like, all right, whatever. So next thing you know, right, like I said, the word hidden with this dude. And then to the fights thing, this guy out of the blue, I'm like,
Come closer, babe.
I'm on his side of the line, and he's just like, he climbs onto the trailer, and he's all like casual about it. This dude makes it seem like he asked me out. No, he didn't.
Trailer.
I had mixed signals. He's all like, what do you say? He's all like, hey, so there's fights coming up, and I don't know, I was wondering if you wanted to go. You know, there's gonna be a group of us, people from work. Like in my head, it's like, I was like, so it's not gonna be us alone, and yeah. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, that sounds fun. You know, I don't know who he meant by the people at work. I was like,
I don't
man,
think nobody from work went.
I was like, I hope I don't have to, you know. I really don't. So, anyways, next thing I know, come Saturday, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even ready because this dude hadn't said anything. So then he's all like, oh, hey, be ready in an hour. And I was like, oh my gosh. The drive to Michigan was an hour. So I was like, dang.
45 minutes.
I freaking got ready as fast as I could. And the next thing you know, to this day, like I told this dude, to this day, I don't know what way I came through. Because I skipped the gas station,
Bruh.
the courthouse, everything. I was just like, me. I got to his house somehow. And it was dark and it was scary.
She passed my house.
It was really scary. And I was like, this can't be his house.
She literally passed my house like, that can't be it.
I was like, this can't be his house. It's creepy looking.
I don't think did I have an electric at that time?
Yeah, you did. You
I
just didn't have heat.
No heat, no water.
Yeah, there you go. No bathroom for sure.
That's how she met me.
Yeah, dude, that's why. And outside, the lawn was even worse. Like, there was this abandoned car there.
It was overgrown grass.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, yeah, I think this guy gave me the wrong address.
Wouldn't think anybody lived there.
I was like, dang, I think I might get killed. Like, I don't know.
In the sticks?
So anyways, I called this dude finally, and he's all like, go to the gas station. I'm like, what gas station? I didn't pass a gas station. And then I see it's off to my left. I'm like, oh, thank God. I go there. Next thing you know, this guy pops up in some tuxedo talking about a dance. I'm like, that's red flag number 1.
That was that day?
In the back of my mind, but I ignored it, right? I was young. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
So then
I took someone that I was with's daughter to a dance. I'm pretty sure that's the only time I wore a tuxedo.
There we go, something like that. And I was like, okay. So anyways, next thing I know, he pops into his little truck, and that's number 2. I was like, dang, that's what he's riding.
My truck was a little S10.
I was like,
dented up that I got for $200, okay?
I was like, in the back of my mind, you know, I'm new to this whole, you know, relationship thing type deal. So I was like, whatever, I don't know what's going on, but we're going to find out. Next thing I know, we're pulling up to the house. That same house that I was like, this can't be it. And I was like, all right.
When I saw her vehicle pass my house. I was like, I saw you pass my house.
Really?
Yeah. When I saw her at the gas station, I was like, yeah, I saw that vehicle go past my house when you were talking to me.
Then I parked there. Where were you at?
No, you went past my house.
Oh.
And then I thought that, you know, it was a different vehicle. Okay, well, that must not have been her. Passed the house, and then, yeah, ended up meeting her at the gas station. Brought her back to the house. And what was going through your head?
Dude, next thing I know, I walk into this house. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Did I have a
There's like,
stove at the time?
It's like Hoarder Central in that joint. So I was like, whew. Well, at least there's a living room. So I was like, I don't know how my head was trying to compartment. How do you say that word?
Now you got me saying it. Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize. That this was happening, that I was in the situation. And this dude just surrounded by freaking Burlington bags. I was like, he's like, yeah, I just did a little shopping today.
Yeah, $500.
Surrounded by so many bags. He's like, I just need to change, then we can go. Next thing I know, this is red flag number 5 probably at this point. He's all like, he just changes right in front of me. No decency, no, oh, hey, can you turn around real quick or nothing? Just straight takes off his pants, everything. I'm just like,
she's in my bedroom.
Dude, no, it was the living room.
It
was the living room. I remember.
I thought you were sitting on the side of my bed.
No, I was sitting right on my couch.
Okay.
Looking at you. And I was like, dang, I think I should look away. This is weird. I've never done this before in my life.
J1.
I was like, yeah, that's weird. So I was looking away, you know, out of respect. Because
let her know what she's going to get.
I don't know. That's funny. That's funny.
So like, that's it?
Next thing I know, he's all like, hey, so my truck, this and this, we're going to have to use your car. I'm like, okay, I guess. We'll use my car. Back in my head, I'm thinking about gas. I'm like, oof, but whatever. Go take my car. He's driving fast, which I'm okay with because I like driving fast. It's pretty fun.
We were on late. I remember this part. We were late, which I don't always remember everything. So when I have an epiphany of my memory popping up, I love it. I remember she says that she likes to drive fast, and I remember that day specifically that I had to like catch up to Ivory, which was like my coach at the time, and we were just there watching. I wasn't fighting or nothing, and he was floating up 131, and I had to catch up to him. Basically, I was like, "We gonna get in there together." We end up smoking, all that before we went in there. But like, I was doing like 100 miles an hour. She wasn't freaking out. It was weird to actually have anybody. Like, shout out to Ray, shout out to Nicole, shout out to Joe, shout out to anybody that's drove with me and
Jesse.
like freaked out because she didn't, and that was like if you seen that movie where that one girl waxes that guy's butt and he doesn't react, that's
Bad Mom's Christmas.
That was the reaction I had when she wasn't freaking out to my driving. I was like, it's meant to be. But yeah, you can go ahead from there.
Yeah, so blah blah, the fight, bloop bloop. Red flag number 100.
Who had 6?
Well, this was a big one,
What's this?
Oh, you will know soon. Everything's going good, dude. Literally, everything's fine. I'm kind of nervous, because no one's here from work, so I'm just like in the back of my head, like, is this a date? Is it not? I'm like a child. I'm 20 years old, and I hadn't even slept with anybody like that. So I was like, I was treading on foreign waters. Next thing I know, the fight's all over. Everything's done with. This dude's sitting on the ramp where the fighters come out, right? Next thing I know, dude, this guy's letting a ring girl shake her butt in his face. And all his friends are looking at me like, oh, and I was like, dang, like, that's super weird. But I didn't know how to react at that time because I was like, I'm not with this guy. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, I don't know how to process this information, but I don't like looking stupid. So yeah, that's a big thing for me. And he's known that for a while, like from the beginning, even before anything happened. Like, I don't like looking
1 second
stupid. Oh, it's because it's 7.
Yeah, I want to make sure that it's not gonna stay. All right. Ring girl, butt shaking. What?
Yeah, so after that, I was just like very shaken up. But like I said, I wasn't with this dude, so I don't know. I was coming off. I wasn't affected, I guess, because I was coming off of being obsessed with this other guy that I had been obsessed with since like 13, 14 years old. So that's why I was taking it lightly, because I was like, meh, I don't know. I guess I was used to things like that, So next thing I know, we're going to the gas station. Or no, after that we smoked with Ivory in his car. Ended that. This dude, I was sitting on his lap in the back, and he was
a packed car.
This guy was kissing my neck and stuff, and I was just like he was kissing my neck, and I was just like, oh man, it's kind of sloppy. So I was like,
drinking?
Yeah.
Alcohol?
Yeah, you're Ciroc all the way.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, I hope he
Ciroc
doesn't.
boys.
Yeah. So anyways, we left. We went to the gas station, filled up my tank, which is a score for me because I was stressed. And then this dude.
I mean, come on, I just spent $500 on clothes.
Red flag number whatever. This guy's going down the candy aisle, just like grabbing candy. Got a whole other bottle. The works. I was just like, man, he must make good money as a. I was like, that's pretty. I was like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah.
I wonder if he saves.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we went to his house. And at first, yeah, I didn't think we were gonna do anything because we were just you were falling asleep. But the next thing you know, somehow you forced yourself or something. Because I was like, okay. And
Did you drive back or I drove all the way back?
You drove all the way back successfully.
Yikes.
So yeah, dude. And like he said, he didn't tell me anything about that stuff until like 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, when we were finally talking about getting into some sort of actual romantic relationship, he said we had to talk.
So when I said that we had to talk, did you have your discernment before that day? Or was it after I said we need to talk that you were like, talk about what?
No, I knew.
Huh. Okay.
But like, I didn't know. Obviously, I didn't know to an extent as to what kind of issues I was dealing with. When he asked this guy, he asked me, he's like, "Do you think you can handle me?" Like, what?
Got a lot of baggage.
I'm only 20 years old. I'm like, what is he talking about? Dude's like 26. I'm like, what's he talking about? I was like, I don't know. I was like, do you think I can handle you? Or, you know? And then he went on some sort of speech talking about, well, I have 3 rules. 1, no dishonesty. 2, unfaithfulness. And 3, something about, oh yeah, don't call the cops on me.
Don't hit me. Don't
3
call
rules.
cops. And be honest.
There you go. 3 rules. I was like, oh wow, this guy. So he, it's funny because like, 3 of those rules were broken.
No, who called the cops? Never in my life.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no.
That's true. That's something successfully that has not been done.
But she went to jail before.
I was calling from 911. But yeah, he does give me this little speech about his baggage and all this stuff, and you know what? I should have known, because as he's talking about this stuff, I remember feeling this uneasiness inside of me, like this heaviness. It's like probably God telling me, like, are you really prepared to take all this weight? Because I knew he had kids, but I didn't know how many. I didn't know the whole situation, how these women were, how this dude's mindset was, nothing. Like, as soon as we started dating, it all started just revealing itself instantly. The fact that he had to look at women, the women that he was looking at work, right in front of my face, outside of work, everywhere.
Yo, she never said nothing about it until I really messed up. Like, it was never really an issue. Like, I didn't see insecurities until that incident of me, stopping what was happening at that time. When I really felt like, I guess when our feelings really started increasing, did she, what's the word? Encourage me to have more, not strength, but control. I mean, it's basically like, yo, you ain't gotta look. Like, don't do that. Like, it hurts me. And I'll say this. This podcast is gonna be about marriage, life advice, things that we've been through, and then we might touch many different topics. But I'll have to make different playlists for all that. I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I was just saying, like, everything got revealed very quickly. I didn't know. Like I said, I was just getting close to God. But I feel like if I hadn't had left so many times the way I did, if I would have gotten serious about being with Pastor, discipling under him, understanding what a relationship was, generational curses, monitoring spirits. We're talking about the spirit of lust, the spirit of molestation, homosexuality, etc., all those things.
Like,
And
this woman shaved my butt for me to dance. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, she's a keeper. But like, even before that, or that was around the same. No, it was before that. It was after the day that we went to the fight, but before she shaved my butt. So do you know when that was?
when you were dancing,
It was probably like hot outside, so it was cold too. I had sweats on. I
I
probably stopped
did
before December.
the time that I'm thinking, but we weren't together though. I must have just did that as a favor. Like I was probably just spending a night type deal. Because I remember the one time that I did your playlist and
Made a playlist for me.
all that stuff. That was around my birthday. I was turning 21 around that time.
So September. And then we went to the fight in what, like March, April?
Yeah, April.
So in between like 3 months, I found out that she was the one that I asked God for. I gave specific details as to what I was willing to not handle.
Like outside of his type.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I don't want the same women that I've been after. Don't give me the
Yeah, he's the
women that
cliche.
always aroused me, the ones that turn people's heads. I don't want that woman. And when I saw the woman that stood before me, the intellectual, the wisdom in her, the spirit in her. And at that time, I didn't know it was the spirit. Now I do. I was just attracted to it, to her.
But
Oh,
yeah.
but I remember what I was going to say about this being a marriage podcast. And I knew when I heard her and when I cared for her that I have to, like your kids. Like, I've had 6 children, and you just have to care for them. You don't want them to hurt. You don't want them to cry. Me, on the other hand, I let my kids cry because I think it's healthy. However, you want to please your wife. You want to do right by her. I'm a very competitive person. If any person calls themselves competitive, but yet you can allow yourself to be less than you know you can be, I don't know how you can be happy with yourself. I look at the Bible, I look at Abraham, I look at Job, I look at the righteous men, and I just say to myself, I can do that. I can be that. Yeah, I know it is impossible to be without sin, being a human, but I've seen people on YouTube walk in the spirit, speak about their encounters with angels. This woman here has had a cleansing of her spirit. She had a demon come out of her. We didn't know that for many years. 3+ years that I was with her. She dealt with it, and it was spirit of anger.
I mean, no, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we did notice because, like, this dude got to see, like, my full-on road rage. Like, I'd get mad.
She would.
I'd get angry really quick. Like, I would tell this, I even told this dude beforehand.
She could not let someone pass her on the road.
That's true.
She's like, ah!
But, no, but, like, I even told this dude, like, hey, straight up, just like your 3 rules or whatever. I was like, I'm angry. Like sometimes I'll wake up mad. Don't know why, but it happens. I was like, in those times, I was like, just try to be patient with me, help me out. And I remember the one time he did. I told him I was mad, upfront and honest about it, blah, blah, blah. And he took me out for ice cream. And it was very nice. It was very thoughtful. I appreciated that very much.
Real quick, what is your love language?
I'd say my number 1 is words of affirmation. And then my 2, very close to my number 1, is acts of service.
So that's 2.
My top
And
2.
I honestly don't even remember them all, but I know 1 is physical touch. Do you know the other one?
Physical touch.
I'd probably say something about
There,
X, but
there's acts of service, there's physical touch, there's gifts, quality time, and well, words of affirmation. There's 5.
I think I literally said gifts and physical touch, but I'm starting to think it's more acts of service. A second to touch. Do we have that book? 5 love languages?
I probably did, but I don't know.
Who knows? The kids grab my books every day. Literally, they think they're their own.
So
I mean, yeah, that's we're 50 minutes in. We're almost an hour in. I don't even know what YouTube's gonna allow me to post. They told me I couldn't even have like 30-minute videos, so I might have to chop this up. But I know I posted a video of me fixing a phone for over an hour long. So there's so much that we have yet to tell and say and go through. So you will be going through a lot of things with us. You'll go through her writing a book, us reading the Bible, how we raise our kids, business. I'll be starting a business. I literally will be recording all of that. Uh, whatever we can do to advance you spiritually. If it's praying in spirit, if it's praying for other people, whatever we can do, we'll try to do. But we're here to tell our story, document it, and live our life. Like, I've got to the point, I know she is still very, I don't say skittish, but she cares, correct me if I'm wrong, more about what people think than I do. Like, I'm a little older and I'm ready. Like, I've already been beat down a couple of times and heard everything under the book, under the sun. So I really don't care.
Yeah, I said that's fine that you don't care, but I was like, our kids might care. Like if we don't tread carefully, it's fine to say our testimonies and all this other stuff. It's fine, but I come from just a different way of looking at it. I mean, people are gonna say things. I mean, you can't stop them, whatnot. But like, as long as you remember that you have a family that you need to protect them as well as if you're not gonna care, then you at least need to protect them because it's the most cliche thing where the mom or the dad will be some big famous person, blah, blah, blah. They think everything's fine because they're financially providing for their kids, giving them everything they didn't have and all this, it's ATC, etc. But little do they know that these kids are being made fun of at school because their dad used to do stuff with men or has, that STD thing going on. And, that comes with a lot. It's not just about what happens to you, what's said about you, but what's said about what comes with you, which is me and those kids.
On that, and on that, I will be healing myself of herpes. So if you would like to do that yourself, I'm pretty sure that the steps that I'll be taking which will be a juice fast. I haven't even got the paperwork to say that I'm positive, but I will get the paperwork to say that I'm negative. I mean, I don't need the paperwork, seeing that I had a breakout last month. Like, I know I still have it and it's in my body. And all it is a worm in your body. Literally, it's a virus. HSV 1 and 2. It's a herpes simplex virus. It just needs to be starved out. All the things that people, government, industries have ended up putting in our foods has created it's ideal food, and we keep on feeding it. The McDonald's, the fries, the sugar, chocolate. I got a chocolate problem. But I will be doing a juice fast, so if you would like to get rid of some things that you might have, ailments, I've heard people say that a juice fast can fix some things along the lines of eczema, uh, diabetes,
Bloating.
not just bloating, but tendonitis, gout, uh, arthritis, and if you want proof, just let me know. I'll send you the links to the testimonials, to the people that provide the services. It doesn't matter. I've seen every nationality under the sun say that they're healing people. Self-proclaimed doctors and people that actually have the credentials to do so. But yeah, that's just some of the things that we'll be doing here. We'll tell you the stories that we went through that you might want to know, that you might want to be told. Uh, I'm open. I'm an open book. And shout out to, if you don't watch the what's the basement? Tim Ross podcast, The Basement. Man, that's where I really got the acronym H.O.T. Honest, open, and transparent. I've been rocking with him so I think since episode 3, but I've watched him almost all of them. He has a lot of influential people in the Christian faith-based, well, even atheists come on this podcast and talk about it. Oh, there was this one guy. I don't know. He was a white comedian, and he used to be an atheist, but he's like, you can't be an atheist and talk to me and tell me what you believe, because everything you're saying, I said. The people that you quoted, I know the books by heart. I'm like, dang, like there's nothing new under the sun. What's in the Bible? His recently, this past couple weeks, I've been distant from God, and it took today. It took today for me to get closer to Him. I felt when God says that He will let you think what you want to think. He will let He will give you up to your own mind. If you want to go down a rabbit hole of government conspiracies, which most of them aren't, and we're seeing that now. Like literally, I was looking at something back in April, May, about somebody talking about NASA, and now people are talking about FBI, and it's just like, wow, all the truth are coming out. I believe people's testimonies. Okay, baby. That's another thing. Look up this channel on YouTube, Delafonte Testimonials. Man, oh man. I posted a couple TikTok videos that I clipped up from there. I'm going to do that one day. I'm going to post all of my screen recordings. I don't care if it gets taken down for copyright issues or whatnot, but like everything that I recorded was impactful to me at the moment. I've probably been doing it for a year at least. But Delafonte Testimonials. I listen to ex-witches, ex-warlocks, atheists, deconstructionists, lesbians, gay guys, Muslims. Like, I listen to their testimony, and it's like, you cannot. Why do you think you're so right? Like that's just what I just. How can they all be wrong? Like I even think that when I think about the Muslims and the Catholics and all the different denominations, I'm like, who's right? And then I look at the book that they derive it from, and I'm like, dang. Don't take what you want out of it. Take it in entirety. Um, and then they say, oh, well, it's been translated a lot. I was just listening. Oh, Jim Caviezel. There's many people that speak Aramaic, Greek, Hebrew. Like, it's not that far off from the original text. It's really not. Jesus is love, yes. But he also, God has a wrath. I was just listening to Joshua today. I advised Facebook to, I do Facebook Reels here and there. I advise them to start in Joshua. Like, you think God is also loving, but yeah, he had Joshua go into many different cities and just pillage, burn the city, kill the women, kill the babies. That's another thing I heard today. Like, back in the day, the Egyptians, some of the Incan and Mayans, like we yeah, we might have came from that. That's your heritage, that's your bloodline, but the practices that they did weren't always good. They sacrificed their babies to a god, not our God, not the God of the Bible. It's just and what Jim was saying is it's still happening today. They're still sacrificing their babies. Now it's without knowledge of even doing wrong, but yet we know that we do not have the right. Oh, that was the other movie, Silent Scream, Silent Screams. He was talking about, I want to watch that. Talking about how the baby gets sucked out of the womb. We can't hear those screams, but he was saying Jim Caviezel, the one that was the actor, the star actor in the new movie Freedom, Sound of Freedom. Yeah, he was like, that was the worst thing that went through his head was the sounds of children being the R word. I don't even want to say it, but I'd be in prison if somebody touched my kids. I would, like, hopefully the judge would side with me, but no remorse. If you got no remorse, you have to be a sick individual to touch a child. And that's another thing. I love gay people. I just posted something today. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against powers and rulers and high places. This is not I hate you, you hate me. It's the spirits that are in us. I got the spirit of God. I got into an altercation at work yesterday for the first time since I've been there. I knew in the moment that, well, he was yelling at me and I was trying to talk to him. I ended up getting heated. I ended up yelling back. But right after, I knew that it was not him. Yeah, he's gotten, attitudes here and there, but he's suffering. And yeah, he might be happy here and there, but when I say suffering, I mean that there's an evil spirit that overtook him, that wanted to say something, and it said it. Like, we have to feed the demons that are in us for them to stay there. If we don't, then they starve and they leave. There's so many verses that come to head, the whole swept out and they come back and all that stuff. Like, if you stick with me, I'll teach you some stuff. I say that, but I'm still learning. So learn with me, We go to school together. Oh, about the gay people. Not every gay person wants to be LGBTQ plus IA. I heard a lot of gay people say that, yo, we don't stand for what the trans people are pushing, what they're saying. And now if somebody knows this, and I'm pretty sure I thought this as a business idea. If somebody was to make an original gay pride flag, they would probably make a lot of money, because what I'm seeing, and I hope if you're, just gay and lesbian, you're not replacing your flag with the new pedophile flag. Please don't do that. If you have to order that flag, if that's all that there is to order, let me know. I'll find somebody. Literally, I'll find somebody to create you one, or we'll get you an old one. Like, I get it. You're proud. However, nothing comes good out of pride. Literally, pride kills people. Pride, like it. What King was at, like, it's just. It's just unsettling sometimes. I love everyone, literally. Like I said, my wife has had a foreign entity in her body, and I'm not talking about a virus. And it came out of her, and she, first thing I noticed, and she noticed, is that I can sleep, bro. For 3 years, this woman slept like actually got sleep 2 to 3 hours out of the night. Like, she woke up in a bad mood. And do that with kids, man. The devil is gonna attack you where he knows is your weakness. I heard a pastor say, "No, I never got afflicted." He's like, women never. He wasn't gay. He didn't say that they didn't appease him, but he said temptation didn't come to him that way. I think it came to him in drugs, and he ended up doing drugs or something like that. But like, my wife, if she was able to get good sleep, she would be so refreshed, so much more wise, into so many more books, that I know she'd be a problem for the devil. And he knows that. That's where he attacks her. And uh, I'd say my finances. He hits me there, because when that's not an issue, he knows that I'm going to give back and help and be a problem to his dynasty. So I love you guys. This is an hour and 7 minutes of us talking. So I think the next one we'll have will be more focused on a topic. Today, shout out to Omar. Omar Furlow. Used to call him Putt. That man is a man of God. He has changed. I met him. No, I won't met him. I ended up doing time with him at the age of 15 to 16 in a county jail in a small room called a capia cell. We were on the wrong path, but we found the right one. Everything that we think we know about the Bible can be open to revelation. Always be open to learning, and learn from the Spirit, learn from God, but also take heed to what other men of God and women of God say. I do. I I'm gonna take it to God as well. After you tell me something, I'm like, yo, this right? Look, if you do not have, if you say to yourself, and some people have said this to me lately, I think I'm gonna start a community of brothers and sisters that are strong in their faith. But if you give me something that you say is word, and the Bible says this and that, I take that to like 4 or 5 different people. I might take that to them as I'm still looking in the Bible myself. But I'm gonna find out the truth. I'm gonna take it to my pastor. I'm gonna take it to the person that I know is in the ministry of deliverance, and He's out there rebuking demons. Take it to a person that I know that went to school for theology and pastors and etc. But just know that God is in you. He is in me. He is in all of us. Like the Bible says, the same Spirit is in us all. The Holy Spirit. When you become a child of God. Because we are all creatures. But then once we accept Jesus, we become a child of God. We just have to accept and know that Jesus died for us. Repent, turn from your ways, and look to Him as your Savior. And we are one. Like, I don't understand the whole Christ consciousness thing. I see people trying to relate the 12 churches to the stuff in your body, to this and that. But some things you need to take literal and some things aren't literal in the Bible. But I tell you this, every time I read the book of John, I get something else out of it. Alright, I gotta get these kids some food. Until next time, it's your boy AJ Deale. I love you guys.